All right, here in Las Vegas, Glen, I've made it, mate. Massive fight week. Tszyu, Sebastian Fundora, the rematch, mate. You must be excited for this fight.
Well, first of all, welcome to our walking sauna. Yeah, look, we're very excited. It's fight week. All the Aussie media's here by the truckload, and it's starting to get that big fight hype starting to happen now, which is great.
What's your mindset heading in this fight? I know you say you don't get nervous watching Tim fight, but you must be aware of what's sort of at stake for Tim.
Yeah, I think the whole team and Tim know that this is the most important fight of his life. The pathways that follow from Saturday night can be horrendous or can be absolutely fantastic, and he's well aware. But it's been a different camp. We've done most of our work in Sydney. We brought the sparring partners into Sydney. They just finished up here on Friday, and I've got to say it's just been, without overstating it, it's just been a really, really terrific camp.
What's Tim Tszyu are you expecting in this fight? He says that perhaps we could see a different Tim Tszyu, a bit more, strategic, a bit more patient. What are you expecting?
I think Tim Tszyu's matured a lot in the last 12 months under that adversity of the two losses, and going back and reviewing and resetting. I think he's matured beautifully into where he is today. I think you might see a little bit more patient Tim Tszyu, but I think the killer is well and truly there, and I think you'll see a throwback to the Tony Harrison type Tim Tszyu, that pressure fighter, that stalker that doesn't give you a second. Even though Fundora is difficult to deal with, I think Tim's quietly confident.
What do you made of these comments from Sebastian about the cut, and perhaps Tim was making excuses for the loss in that first fight? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's part of the gamesmanship, to be honest. I think Sebastian's probably at that point where he'd like more recognition for the fact that he beat Tim, and a lot of people are saying, well, you probably wouldn't have won had Tim not got the cut, and he's probably got the shits with that. But it's a bit of ego stroking there, and what the hell, don't make any difference to us.
What's, Tim said that perhaps he thought he had a point to prove in his last couple of fights in the States, and perhaps that's why he went out a bit overzealous. Is that something you guys have addressed in camp?
Yeah, it was always his dream, and so you can't sort of blame the fighter for being so pumped up. And if that causes a little bit of distraction for the fighter, then how do you, we did everything in our power to get him ready. But sometimes he's dead right. He might have been a little bit overzealous. But with that maturity that we spoke about, I think you'll see there'll be none of that this time.
Tim made some comments to Ben Damon last week about the corner last year in the Fundora fight, and perhaps he, addressed with a couple of people that, perhaps they made mistakes. You sort of talk on that, what he meant by those comments?
Yeah, look, as a manager of that entire group, the right thing to do after Fundora was to get the entire team together and have a review. And we conducted that very professionally and very openly, and it was very frank. So everybody had their say. And we identified some areas that we weren't very good at. And that's just being honest. There were a couple of mistakes made, and we talked about them, and we said, look, we've got to be much, much better. And I don't think anyone was prepared for a ruptured carotid artery. I really don't. And I'm not sure even if it happened tomorrow, if you can stop that. But the reality is that we took it as a business, and Tim understood, and we've moved on. So I think everyone's in a better place today than they were a year ago.
If you could have time again, would you have stopped that fight?
Look, I'm not in the corner, so it's not my decision, but the boys that are in the corner under that adversity, and I just want to hark back to that night when that was all going down. The context of it is you've got a fighter that comes back to the corner bleeding at 1 minute to determine what the damage is, for the coach to see what is the referee saying, what's the doctor saying. He's got to instruct the fighter what he wants from him next, and the cut man trying to stop something that couldn't be stopped. So by the time we got to the fourth round, it was only 2 opportunities, so he can't be too hard on them. Plenty of people have said they should be gone and replaced and all that, but one thing I, as a manager, can't replace is that loyalty. And if everyone learns from it, the whole team, no one excluded, then it's far better to stay with the product and the loyal guys that than to go looking for someone else.
Now, Nikita Tszyu, he's over there training at the moment. Got a date for him in August. Must be excited to see him back in the ring.
So good. Nikita brings a whole new perspective to Australian boxing. So yeah, we're really excited. Tim's getting a bit excited over here, making some noise. Really excited for Nikita. Come through the sparring really well with his hand surgery. So yeah, we move on. August 20. I'm sure No Limits will make an announcement very soon about his opponent.
Tim spoke about prospect of becoming a two-time world champion. You know, you got Nikita rising up the ranks. All going well. Where does the Tszyu name rank? You know, in 5 to 10 years' time.
I think they're going to leave a great legacy. I think they'll go higher and higher, starting on Saturday night for Tim. To go home with the WBC strap's super important for him. And with that strap comes the leverage for him to go on further and further. Nikita's still at that stage where we're bringing him through. But I think 2026 will probably launch Nikita over here. And he'll follow Tim. And yeah, I think you'll see the pair of them on the international stage for quite a while.
Nice one, mate. And what's this week look like for you? Any downtime in Vegas or busy?
Getting chased for you guys. No downtime from today on. It's fairly full on, as you know, fight week. Dealing with the fighters. I've also got the Bull Brand and Gratch here sparring. So there's a lot going on. But for Tim, he's got a very, very busy media schedule. Not like Florida, where he doesn't have to carry the whole fight, but it's all eyes on Tim. The whole focus is on him now. So whatever he needs, he'll get.
Beauty. Thanks so much, mate.
Thank you, guys.